It's saying it's live and that 5 people are watching me. Is that right? Because it's not showing that it's live. It's not showing that it's live for me. If it's live for you, can you please put some comments in the comment section, please? Because I'm using Restream for the first time and I don't know what's going on. It's saying I've gone live, but I can't see that it's gone live for me. Can you all hear me? Because it's not showing that it's live. Oh, I think it is working. Okay, there's 6 of you in the chat. Can you please let me know that you can hear me and that everything is okay? Yeah, you can hear me, Annie. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so we are trying Restream for the very, very first time because we are sick of StreamYard. We are sick of audio issues. I almost wasn't going to do this podcast today, folks. I'm sorry to start on such a sad note, but I really, really felt horrible posting the community tab because I just said I've had the absolute nightmare of my channel being attacked this week, audio problems earlier today, and then I tried to do this podcast too, and they were just not loading. So I almost didn't do this podcast today. It's almost going to 2 a.m. in the morning where I am now, but it seems like we've finally got some audio and something going on. So thank you so much for being so patient with me. I hate when we have issues like this, especially after all these years of this podcast. But please let me know how the audio is. Is it crisper? Is it clearer? Because if it is, I'm never using StreamYard again. I think I just waited too long to switch, and hopefully if this is better, then we'll stick to this. Okay, ran over. Let's try and have a good podcast because there's actually some nice things to talk about today. And just be patient with me while I try to get used to a whole new layout. And let's see, can I put let me open this chat feature. Can I put yes, I think I can put your messages on the screen. Do they come up like on StreamYard? I've got Annie Bennett's comment on the screen, but I don't know if it's actually showing. Fancy, is your comment showing? Let's have a look. Oh yes, it is, but it's so faint. Okay, I'm gonna have to toggle around with the settings, but okay, so we know that's working. Smoky eyes. I'm sure Meghan would 100% agree that her husband has sexy smoky eyes. And yes, Harry and Meghan popped out. They were at, let me just toggle my slides. They were at a function. They were supporting the David Foster Foundation 40th anniversary gala. Let me just look up what that actually supports. David Foster Foundation, always supporting some good causes. Oh, it's to provide financial aid to Canadian families with children in need of organ transplants and educate on organ donation. Fantastic. And Meghan was spotted dancing around when Adam Levine came on stage. And I saw there was at one point a number behind the screen. I don't know if that was the final fundraising amount or just what they had raised up until that point, but it was almost 140,000. So, definitely costs to have a seat on one of these tables. Great to see our faves in some power rooms. I saw this really funny tweet from Vanessa Newgan. She said, "It's always funny hearing royal experts speak about how Harry and Meghan couldn't be half in, half out when their future king and queen are basically 1/4 in and 3/4 out." And you know what? Harry and Meghan can go to these events and pay for it themselves out of their own pockets. All right, let me know. Give me some feedback on how the sound is, how the image quality is, by the way. in the comment section, because it's the first time I'm using Restream. All right, well, other than admire our faves looking very, very sharp, not a whole lot to say. Meghan's usual very slick, clean look. That beautiful, like, fitted silhouette. You know, she knows what works on her body. She has like a roundish square frame, and like these one shoulder dresses do very well for her. I think either like matte, very bright colors tend to work really well for her, and also like neutrals as well. But I think I do love it when she wears bright colors. Like, it's always my favorite when she pops out in like a red or something really bright. And I feel like we're getting a preview of what we might get at the Emmys. I'm still crossing my fingers that one day she will start a glitzy Saab. Who knows? Let's cross our fingers for the Emmys. What do y'all think she's going to wear to the Emmys? I don't know why, but I feel like she's either going to wear yellow or blue. Like, that's what I'm feeling for the Emmys. Or she might shock us all with something completely different. Alrighty. Next thing. Oh, why is there an ad on my screen? What's that about? What is that about? Hang on a sec. Hang on one sec. Can y'all see ads on my screen? What's going on? Hang on one moment. Don't like the sight of that. Or is that just what I'm seeing, or what's going on with that? Hang on a sec. Okay, I sound clear, but does the screen look okay to you? Because I'm not even kidding. Like, my screen is split and I can see, like, okay. I think it was just something weird going on with my screen. Sorry. Okay, so lovely to see Meghan out and about. Next thing. You don't see that. It's just like it was almost like the ad was stuck to the image. That must be a glitch. Now, this whole thing. You know, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. When I first comment, I didn't initially read it as shady. And I know how people like to pit people against Meghan. I know that Martha Stewart can be a bit of a Karen, but I honestly didn't immediately think that it was shady until I saw the video. There's actually video of her saying this, which I didn't know. And if you watch the video, then you really get the shadiness. Now I'm like, oh, so she actually was being shady. Let me try and play our fave who we love, the Notorious, actually did a video on this. I can't play the video on the screen, but I'm gonna play the audio because I was just like, wow, she actually was being shady. This is Notorious JTB. Let's oh yeah. The other night, but she was at the same table. So I can't say I knew she was. Oh wait, sorry. In California, and she had just. Let's start that again. I had dinner with Meghan Markle the other night, but she was at the same table. So I can't say she wasn't my guest. We were both guests at a dinner party in California, and she had just gotten back from the palace. And I think I didn't talk to her really more than to say a couple words, but I know she was talking about it. If you're an actress, it's hard to then transition. Now, I don't know if you got that. She said she wasn't talking to me about it. So whatever Martha is alleging Meghan said about her time at the palace, she said she wasn't talking to me about it. I heard she was talking about it. Excuse me, what? Who says something like that? Now the host has to come out and say something because the host is embarrassed. And it just shows you, it's like all types of etiquette goes out the door with these Karens when it comes to Meghan. Because for sure, that doesn't look good on the host. She invited you into her home privately. She invited Meghan into her home privately. And obviously, whoever this host is a very, very high profile host. I mean, both Meghan and Martha Stewart in one room. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it was Oprah's house. Maybe. At a dinner party. Maybe Ellen. One of them, these big stars. So if you weren't even sat at her table, like what was even the point of saying this? What was even the point of having Meghan's name in your mouth? And then she goes on to say this. To a princess, and then from a princess into a homemaking guru on a television show, it doesn't sort of follow. So what she's trying to suggest is because, Meghan went from being, an actress to a princess to it doesn't follow through that she's now doing a cooking show. Meghan had a whole cooking blog or a whole lifestyle blog that went beyond just cooking. It was cooking, travel, reading, celeb interviews, beauty, fashion. She's been involved in charities linked to eradicating food poverty. She's been involved in multiple charities, speaks different languages, worked at numbers. I mean, Meghan's profile is just CV is just so long. So why wouldn't she be capable of being multi-talented and multifaceted and going from one thing to the other? Like, what are you even talking about? Who says that you have to do one thing in your entire life? And after everything Meghan's gone through, no offense, Martha, but you're telling me that Meghan can't, bake some bread and flip a pancake? Like, what are you talking about? It's like, why can you not just give another woman her flowers? It's like, you're not the only one that could. This is why I'm saying, like, I find it very, very hard to even respect Martha Stewart at all. Because I'm also very conscious of the fact of who Martha Stewart is, the privilege that she would have had in her life for her to obtain the level of platform and fame that she had over maybe someone else that doesn't look like her, who was maybe 10 times more talented with her cooking skills and lifestyle branding skills, who was trying to come up at the same time. And it's like, you disrespect your own legacy by disrespecting other people. For what? It's like she just had to say something shady. If she didn't directly hear what it was that Meghan said, she said she heard other people talking about it. Well, why even bring it up in the first place? And I'm sure even if Meghan did bring it up, I don't think Meghan went into details. Oh, Camilla had a vegetable in her tooth. I'm sure she just said, yeah, we were in England with the kids, and that was it. I'm glad they're pushing back. Yeah, Martha should know better. It's like, come on. Come on. Do you know how many food influencers there are? There's room for everyone. Martha is mad as her show was cancelled. Oh, really? Is that so? I didn't know that. Wouldn't surprise me, thinking for the super chat. Wouldn't surprise me if that was the case, to be honest. Because she's certainly the most bitter Betty right now. And for what reason? Alexandra, they weren't at the palace, but at Highgrove, Charles' private residence. Martha was a model, investment banker, caterer, cookbook author, then lifestyle host. Martha, yeah, listen, Martha's been many, many things, and you know what, good for her. But there's no point of dragging somebody else down. For what? It just makes you look bad. I don't actually know what it was. What was Martha Stewart charged with? I hear people say this about her all the time, that she was a felon, or what did she actually do? What was her crime? I don't actually know what her crime was. She should just stick to. Well, I guess since her show was cancelled, she can't cook with Snoop Dogg anymore. Oh, okay. On to the next thing. Let's get on with it, shall we? I wanted to talk about very, very poor etiquette. Right, let's talk about Cookie Queens, which is getting rave reviews. Charged with insider trading. What, like on the stock market? Oh, I'm gonna look into that. What, like a Bernie Madoff thing? Did she make off with people's money like Madoff? I'm gonna look into that. So Cookie Queens gets a sweet preview with Meghan Sussex and Girl Scouts. So they did this really, really cute interview where they were talking about their favorite type of cookies, and they made their own flavor cookies. It is in theaters. Make sure that you go and see it. And of course, the documentary follows ambitious young sellers as they build confidence, test their business skills, and chase major sales goals during cookie season. Now, ahead of the release, Meghan and the director, is it Names? Alyssa Names, joined several of the film's top-selling Girl Scouts in the Tasty Studio for a special cookie challenge. The Girl Scouts invited the girls to design their dream flavor, combining strawberry jam, yum yum, warm spices, and white chocolate. So I can't play the interview here because obviously YouTube is going to come after my ass. But you can go. It's on the a Tasty YouTube channel. Let me see if I can just get the link for you here. Copy link. Yeah, I'll just post it in the chat. Give me one sec. Yeah, you can go watch it here so that the YouTube copyright police don't come after me. It's a very cute interview. So during a more quieter conversation, Meghan shared her childhood advice from one of the teachers who always told her to keep a good heart. And she also praised the girls for asking really difficult questions and working together and taking practical steps to improve the world rather than simply talking about change. So yeah, it was just like, I think what I loved about this segment when you go and watch it is that the young girls were actually presented as young entrepreneurs with clear opinions and strong sales instincts and the confidence to create something together, not just little girls selling cookies. And I think that's so important. And I love that the way that it seems like they structure everything is really giving young girls the confidence to know that they're doing um so many confidence building skills, life skills beyond just, I can imagine maybe back in the day, the way these things were, the way society was, it really was just little girls selling cookies. But now I think, it's so much more than that, and really, letting girls know that you can take up space and laying the foundations for things, for being independent, being entrepreneurial, and teamwork. So very nice. Great movie promotional run all around. And I hope it does go on to get some awards. All right, next thing. Let's have a laugh. Come one, come all. Come one, come all, and let's laugh at the Daily Fail. So the Daily Fail got Meghan's birthday video. So this was the birthday video where she was dancing around, and they got a poorly paid intern, either a poorly paid intern or Maureen, to sit down and do their famous numbering articles. I mean, what can you even say? Meghan just joyfully dancing around the kitchen with her headband. And now the Daily Mail have taken the obsession one step further, and they published a detailed breakdown of the video, numbering every element in the footage. This is insane. From the 2 kitchen islands to the chandelier, as if each required its own exhibition. Like, she literally just shared a cheerful birthday clip, and the tabloids responded as though they were processing a crime scene. They remain remarkably committed to documenting every corner of her kitchen. We actually sadly lost one of our best spot what Meghan is wearing account holders. I think she just has been in the space for a very long time and she just wanted to move on to other things. But she was an absolute maestro. She actually privated her account so that only squaddies could follow her. But what she did was she actually watched the Harry and Meghan documentary in microseconds. So she was able to even pick up on things like Meghan's, like what hand soap Meghan uses in the bathroom, like things like that. But this is fan behavior. In fact, this is stan behavior. The haters should be minding their business. Look, they've even numbered the balloon. What, you want to put a price tag on the balloon? By the way, Meghan has 4.7 followers on Instagram now, y'all. 4.7 million. I think she gains about 100,000 every time she posts. It'll probably be about 5.5 million by the end of the year. I feel like they need to post more of the Arch for Philanthropy stuff. I've said this. I don't know why they don't have their own Instagram. Or just post more so that people can see what Arch for Philanthropies is doing. Outside of our royal bubble, I feel like people don't really know. Like, when I mentioned that I do a royal podcast, people ask, oh, what are Harry and Meghan even doing? I'm like, they're doing lots. So the fact that people ask me tells me that their work isn't reaching. I mean, it's reaching in terms of it's creating amazing impact, but let's be honest, this is also a media game, right? Okay. So yeah, the Daily Mail published a breakdown of Meghan's birthday video, like forensic evidence in a criminal trial. They even numbered the bagel. I mean, Meghan could have probably baked those bagels. The "we don't care about Meghan" crowd. Yeah, they don't care, and they analyze a plate of bagels. Frame by frame, y'all, like a stan. Do you know who they've hired to do this? That weird stalker that showed up to court to stalk Harry. That's who they've hired to do this. She'd love a job like that. Apparently, it's a she. And the most exhausting thing about it is how predictable it's actually become. And it's like, what exactly is... Who is this actually marketed at? Is what I want to know. Are they just trying to make the saddos at the Daily Mail jealous? Like, who does this serve? Because if I want to know what's in Meghan's house, I'm not going to go to the Daily Mail. I'll go to one of the fan channels. So I don't know what this serves other than the purpose of, I don't know, evoking jealousy in the trolls that are jealous of Meghan. I don't know. Like, what are they trying to report here? Meghan's jam on the table? Can't stop watching her. Hilarious. Doing this, someone they claim is relevant. Margins are coming for the tabloids. Indeed. You know, it's a slow news day when they have to number everything in Meghan's house. All right, folks, just a halfway through mark check. How are we doing? How are we doing for audio? How are we doing for visual? For those of you who have come back to the podcast, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We've had a very, very choppy day. I am trying StreamYard for the, not StreamYard, Restream with a completely different platform for the very first time. So please tell me how it looks, how it sounds. And if it sounds and looks better than StreamYard, I will stick to this platform because I'm sick of StreamYard. It was overtaken by a large corporate. They had a merger, and it was already pretty bad, to be honest, but it's gone even worse. So I'm trying a new platform. Let me know how we're doing. Right, Omid, who has been very quiet. Don't blame him. He's been through a lot. The institution put him through a lot. SJC said audio good, visual good, fantastic. Oh, and Meghan sat next to the event host. Oh, do you know what? That's probably why she had an attitude. That's probably why. I mean, we don't even know who else was at the party, but Martha decided that she was going to tell us that she was at the party and that Meghan was at the party. Has anybody else from the party said that they were at this party? I haven't heard anybody say anything. I haven't heard anybody say that they were at a dinner party with Meghan, actually. So if it was at a dinner party, clearly there were a number of people there. But the only reason we know that Meghan was at a dinner party is because of Martha Stewart and her big mouth. You haven't heard anybody else say, oh, I was at a dinner party with Meghan. So what does that say about Martha Stewart? Oh, God. This is actually a completely different slide. We'll talk about that later. We will talk about that later. The slide I wanted was... Nope, that's not the one I wanted either. Where's the slide with Omid? Where is it? Or do I not have it? Oh, maybe I don't have it. Never mind. I'll just go back to the beginning. So Omid did a very rare interview. He, wrote Founding Freedom. He went. I think he lives in LA now, or somewhere in California. I don't think LA, but California, I think. He wrote another book, which is like a fictional book about, I think it's an intern that joins the royal fold. And then that's also being turned into a TV series or something, I think, or I think it's been optioned at least. I don't know how far it's gotten in production, but I believe it's been optioned. So he's doing okay. He's doing fine. Sure, he's got him a nice Range Rover. But he appeared on this week's episode of Pop Syllabus. He argued that Meghan's arrival was not just a love story or family shake-up. It was the monarchy's clearest test of whether it could genuinely reflect a multicultural Britain and a diverse Commonwealth. Indeed. And they failed. I think we've said it enough that they failed. And I even said it in the last podcast. I think we need to actually put that narrative to bed. Because the institution failed that test spectacularly. In fact, they're still failing that test spectacularly. They could change everything overnight if they wanted to, but they refused to. Yeah, Sharon, Omid ran off the moment he got his gig in America, and I don't blame him. Because imagine if Omid had taken the other route and been a hater like the others, right? He'd be going broke like all the rest of them. But he said, I'm going to at least try and be fair and balanced. And he's done very well for himself because of it. So that's what honesty gets you. Yeah, of course, he's had his moments. I know a lot of Scotties had an issue with Finding Freedom, and I think there were like one or two inaccuracies in that, and they feel that maybe he wasn't as harsh as he could have been on the other royals. But I don't think that Omid was ever really coming from that place. I think he's been very balanced with Harry and Meghan, and I don't think he ever wanted to be like a royal family basher. I think he still wanted to kind of like, toe that line of respectability, which is fine. That's the stance that he's taken. I can come on here and the Squaddies can come on here and be a royal family basher. That's fine. That's what That's what our space is about. Different people can bring different flavors, right? And one thing I will say about the royals not being able to modernize around Meghan is, with that, what are they offering a multicultural Britain now beyond optics? So this is what Omid said. He said the arrival of Meghan was like the ultimate test for the royal institution. It was like, can it adapt to a multicultural or diverse Britain and the Commonwealth in a way that it needs to? But let me just also just sidetrack and say they should have been thinking about ways of doing that, whether or not a person of color came into the royal family anyway. So it's like, would we even be? Sorry, is that to say that we wouldn't be having these conversations had a person of color not come into the royal family? We're only having these conversations because Meghan is biracial? That in itself is quite telling. And it's one and only chance. But why though? Why was Meghan its one and only chance? Now I've just got a whole idea for a Substack article. Hi Prudence. Hi everybody who's just coming in. So much of it was just about not defending her from the inevitable attacks and sort of one-sided coverage that came from the tabloids. Without opening her mouth, without even knowing anything about her personality, she was getting the British tabloid treatment, which is always going to be from that place of, if you are different, we're going to treat you as such, and we're going to lean on stereotypes. When she started to develop her own opinions and thoughts on things, that made things doubly hard for her. And then when it got to the point where she started speaking out, because she was already a woman of color in a hallowed Asian traditional institution, the fact that she spoke up and didn't seem differential to it or in depth to it for its golden opportunity made people angry. And the thing is that it really wasn't even a golden opportunity, to be honest. I wouldn't put the being in the royal fold as a golden opportunity, because of what it costs you as a person, your soul. It's like you go into this institution and it's like they're gonna, such miserable, nasty people, so they're gonna ruin your soul the way they're. I don't think it's poppy in this institution. Everybody has to be miserable. That's how a cult actually works. You're constantly keeping people in a state of nervousness. All right. Somebody who wasn't always kind to Meghan, Perez Hilton. Can I just say, do not go and look for the Perez Hilton pictures or video of what happened on his live stream. It is horrific. It's horrific things I've ever seen. It took TikTok way too long to take it down. I know that some people do self-harm, they cut themselves, but that was awful. I'm not going to sit here and clap my hands and jump for joy, and I'm not saying what I'm about to say that place, but I am someone that does believe that when you just put so much negativity out into the world, the chromatic balance is just not going to allow you to have peace. And some of the things that in the I think more recently Perez Hilton was trying to be a nicer person, maybe rebrand, I don't know. He said some very nasty things about Harry and Meghan. He was awful to a lot of women in Hollywood, especially at the height of Paris Hilton's that celebrity 2010s era, paparazzi era, shopping at Kitson era. He actually named his website after her with similar branding so that people would find him. That's where the name Perez Hilton comes from. He would publish really nasty, objectifying, degrading images of female stars. He was horrible to Britney. I think he, hugely contributed to her bullying, and I think just the culture of going after female celebrities. So, all I have to say about that is I'm not dancing on anybody's demise. But just keep your soul clean. If you're gonna go after other people who are perfectly innocent, and haven't done anything, God sees everything. I don't think people like this know peace. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. He is alive. He's alive, but it's just truly the most horrific thing I've seen this year. It was a full-on psychotic breakdown. I also had a look, just saw this that came up on my feed. The former Conservative politician, and very vocal right-wing woman, Anne Widdecombe. So she was unalived, very brutally, a couple of weeks ago now. They have now reopened an investigation into an attempted burglary of Nigel Farage's home. Nigel Farage, someone I really don't care for. He's basically the closest thing we have to Donald Trump. But I will say this, that someone who, if this burglary of Nigel Farage is linked to perhaps the unaliving of Anne Widdecombe, Nigel Farage, hate him as I do, is still a major political figure in the United Kingdom. And that anyone could get potentially that close to a major political figure is very scary. And it says something about security. And whenever I think of security, or security being bungled, obviously I think of what's happening with Harry's situation. And also, I forgot to put it on the screen, but I wanted to also link to this. There was also an issue with Kemi Badenoch, who is the current leader of the Conservative Party. Now, she's a Black Nigerian woman, and I don't know what the motive for going after her was. Is it because it's somebody who is very right-wing conservative and doesn't want a Black woman in that space? Is it just somebody who is very, very left-leaning and doesn't really care about Kemi Badenoch's race? As far as I'm concerned, she's a conservative. I don't know what the motive behind whatever this terrorist threat was. But again, you see the security services not doing a very good job. And it's just it's scary. Sorry, give me a sec. And so all of that to say, sorry, to bring it back to my point, it just makes me very, very nervous. Whenever I hear about these things. So in the case of Kemi Badenoch specifically, let me actually have a read of what happened. Oh yeah, so So her security officer was a knife-wielding fanaticist. So this is someone who was actually part of counter-terrorism police, who had disturbing videos and who worked for Kemi Badenoch. So this is someone who is Kemi Badenoch is the leader of the Conservative Party. And the security detail that was assigned to her was a knife-wielding fanaticist. Tell me again why Harry should trust having security from these people. Tell me again, how? That is actually insane. These people can't be trusted at all. It wasn't too long ago we heard about a fanaticist who was working in the palace, in Buckingham Palace. Just wanted to bring all that up just to reiterate why I do not trust these people with Harry's security. And even if Harry got security, he should never trust them. He should absolutely never trust them. All right, folks. We'll just end with your comments and then we'll wrap things up. Thank you so much for being patient with me today, folks. It seems like the sound for Restream is very crisp. I'm going to listen to this back. You can tell me what you think. I think we may have found the solution. I'll be absolutely thrilled if we do. What? When Heath Ledger passed away, Perez Hilton printed a shirt saying, "Why not Britney?" What? Are you serious? That is disgusting. Oh, why would anybody do that? I'm telling you, 2010's celebrity culture was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, when you do the crime, you do the time. And there's spiritual crimes as well. You are not wrong. Indira Gandhi was unalived by one of her security detail. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll catch up later. Ciao.